Hwa Rim and Bong Gil travel to Los Angeles to meet a wealthy Korean-American family. They are no ordinary couple. Hwa Rim is a Korean shaman and Bong Gil her protege. They are summoned to find out about a mysterious illness that has gripped the family's newborn son after medical science has failed them. The baby has been crying non-stop since birth. After their initial investigation, Hwa Rim asks if the baby's father or perhaps the grandfather is also suffering from the same illness, which surprises the mother. Suspecting something suspicious going on, Hwa Rim and Bong Gil visit the baby's father, Park Ji-young, who tells them that at first it was his elder brother who was haunted by darkness. After he took his life at a mental hospital, the darkness started haunting him. And now the same darkness is after his newborn son. Hwa Rim suspects it's Park Ji-young's grandfather's grave calling, also known as the disaster of ancestral graves. The spirit of his grandfather is unhappy and is calling upon them. Elsewhere, a feng shui master, Kim Sung-deok, who specializes in selling burial grounds to the wealthy, and his partner, Young Yeon, a mortician, are busy solving another mystery of a grandmother who haunts her grandkid in their dreams. They exhume her body to find the kid has stolen her dentures. Poor grandma's spirit is wandering toothless. That evening, Hwa Rim and Bong Gil meet the two at their office to enlist them on the case after they get permission from Park Ji-young to dig up his grandfather's grave. A few days later, Kim Sung-deok meets Park Ji-young to get the location of his grandfather's grave. Kim Sung-deok is surprised when Park Ji-young asks him to cremate the body with the coffin once they exhume it. Kim Sung-deok states they need to remove the remains from the coffin before they cremate it, but Park Ji-young presses that it should be done immediately as his family is against the decision. They drive to the North Korean border in the Gangwon province, where the grave is located. They reach the top of the mountain where they see a very sad-looking single stone tomb. The tomb has the numbers engraved on it but no name. Looking at the grave's sorry state, Kim Sung-deok asks Park Ji-young who chose the grave site, to which Park Ji-young replies that a famous monk by the name Gi-soon recommended the place. Suddenly, Kim Sung-deok refuses to continue with the job. Upon asking, he reveals the entire place is cursed and no humans should have been buried there. But Hwa Rim convinces Kim Sung-deok after she suggests they perform a ritual while exhuming the grave. Finally, everybody is on board and they go to the location with an entire team of workers. They use 5 workers born in the year of the pig and bind them with real pigs. They will be the ones digging the grave. This is done to distract the evil. They start the ritual, and it soon intensifies as Hwa Rim starts dancing and Bong Gil sings, asking for permission to help the unrested soul. Amidst everything, the workers start digging and soon uncover a cypress coffin. They carry it out and transport it while the workers stay behind to see if there's anything else in the grave. One of the workers is checking when he sees a snake near his feet, and using the shovel he severs his head only to find the snake has a human head which lets out a piercing scream. This triggers a bad omen and it suddenly starts raining. Due to the heavy pour, Kim Sung-deok suggests postponing the cremation to the next day and arranging for the coffin to be kept at a hospital. He then visits a temple to inquire more about the tomb and learns that it was rumored the tomb possessed a hidden treasure, which is why it was subjected to many attempts of robbery in the past. These rumors were well known, which is probably why, blinded by greed, one of the hospital workers opens the coffin and releases a malevolent spirit. Just then, Bong Gil and Hwa Rim arrive, and as the entity passes through Hwa Rim, she faints. She's admitted to the hospital where she tells the other what happened. The vengeful spirit goes after Park Ji-young's parents and kills them before going after him, but Hwa Rim realizes it and conducts another ritual to summon Grandpa's spirit and Bong Gil. They are successful initially. However, the spirit gets away and visits his grandson. The spirit prompts Park Ji-young to open the window for him, posing as Kim Sung-deok. By the time the real Kim Sung-deok arrives, Park Ji-young is already possessed by the spirit. He suddenly starts speaking Japanese and gets killed when his neck turns 180 degrees on its own. Meanwhile, Hwa Rim, Bong Gil, and Yang Guan head to the crematorium with the coffin. They must hurry because the spirit is headed for the baby. Just when the spirit is about to harm the baby, Kim Sung-deok gets approval from the eldest member of the Park family and they burn the coffin. This stops Grandpa's spirit from harming the baby and it dissipates into nothingness. A few days later, Kim Sung-deok visits the grave site once again, where she is shocked to find a tiny woman's head and another bigger coffin buried deeper upright. The group arrives to see the coffin, and together they take it out and carry it to a temple. While Rim can feel the immense negativity from the coffin, as can the others, yet they place it in the temple's warehouse and to seal whatever is inside the coffin. While Rim creates a barrier around it with rice and horse blood. They contact the eldest remaining member of the Park family, Park Ji-young's aunt, and ask her if she's hiding any information from them. She denies it, but Kim Sung-jak reveals that he knows her father had betrayed his own country by working for the Japanese, which is why the monk punished him by burying him in such an unholy place. Ms. Park admits she knew it, but she doesn't understand why the monk would do it because he too was Japanese, named Mariamu Junji. That night, Bong-gil, who is sleeping with others in the temple, dreams of a gravely injured priest who states that someone took his liver. Bong-gil wakes up from the sleep paralysis and goes to see if the priest is doing fine, but as expected, it is a premonition because he finds the slaughtered body of the priest. He also hears pigs shrieking in the nearby barn and sees a dark figure slaughtering them. He quickly wakes Hwa-rim and they find the coffin open as if someone forced his way out. She asks Bong-gil to gather everyone while she investigates the coffin. Inside, she finds a samurai helmet. Just then, she senses a presence, and sure enough, it is a 7-foot-tall samurai who has returned for his helmet. To save herself, Hwa-rim poses as his subordinate while conversing in fluent Japanese. But he catches her bluff and goes after her. She is saved by Bong-gil, who tries attacking the samurai, but the samurai pierces Bong-gil's abdomen with his bare hands. He then turns towards Hwa-rim but notices the pagoda-style temple behind her. So he chants a mantra and turns into a fireball. By this time, Kim Sung-jak and Young Gwin arrive to see the samurai turn into a fireball. The fireball takes them to their deepest, most fearful memories and shows them their sins before flying back to the mountain. They somehow break free from the trance and rush Bong-gil to the hospital. The doctors tell them Bong-gil's condition is critical and he needs to be shifted to a bigger hospital. Kim Sung-jak visits the grave site for the 3rd time and realizes the numbers he saw in the tomb are coordinates, and when he digs at the spot, he unearths a samurai's body which doesn't appear dead. The group discusses their findings, and Kim Sung-jak tells them that the Korean soldiers thought of as robbers were unearthing iron stakes and other relics that the Japanese used to mark the Korean land as their own. They suspect the samurai is guarding those iron stakes. They devise a plan where Hwa-rim will distract the samurai by forcing him out for some time while Kim Sung-jak can find the iron stake and pull it out. The next day, the three, covered with protective tattoos from head to toe, venture back to the mountain. There, they lure the samurai with bait. After a while, the samurai emerges and takes it. The bait leads him to a tree, which Hwa-rim uses to hide herself by placing burning sage inside the hollow of it to create smoke. She engages the samurai in conversation. Upon questioning, he tells Hwa-rim he was deceived by Gisun, the monk, and imprisoned in the Daitoku temple after a curse was placed on it. He must guard the land. Just then, Hwa-rim finds the samurai standing right before her. He ominously proceeds towards her when her master, her grandma, appears and binds the samurai while Hwa-rim escapes. Meanwhile, Kim Sung-jak and Young Gwin start digging to find the relic, but they don't find anything. Hwa-rim meets with Young Gwin, who tells him they didn't find anything when they see the samurai turn into a fireball and retreat to the grave where Kim Sung-jak is still working. The samurai appears behind him and stabs his abdomen. To save Kim Sung-jak, Hwa-rim throws horseblood on the samurai, making him burn and retreat. And as they climb into the grave to help Kim Sung-jak out, the samurai emerges and takes the two by the neck. Hwa-rim has a vision where she sees that after the samurai was sacrificed, they placed a katana inside his body through his mouth and buried him. Kim Sung-jak uses his knowledge of feng shui and elements and uses a wooden stick and soaks it in his blood to stab the samurai, killing him before collapsing. He feels his life slipping away as the two carry him to the hospital. Surprisingly, he survives because he has his daughter's wedding to attend. Things go back to normal, but the remnants of what they experienced still haunt them to this day. That wraps up today's horror recap of the movie Exhuma. Hit the subscribe button for more such spine-chilling, amazing stories from different cultures because, believe it or not, we have it all.